colleagues on the panel. Those are going to present along with me and myself. I just would like to share that a couple of weeks back, we in the manufacturing cell, we shared a Google form, and we wanted that business owners should mention what are the issues they are facing and what kind of solutions they are looking for, or what kind of possible solution we as expert we can give. So this is what exactly we are going to talk about. And with me, we have CA Priyanka Gupta. She is having around more than 10 years experience in funding taxation practices legal, and she's a part of, actually, she's a partner in the Kesari and Associates from Calcutta. And she's have a massive experience in terms of the fundings and all that. So she's going to talk about especially the funding aspects. Then we have Mrs. Chetna Malik. She has more than 2 decades of excellent corporate experience in the area of human resources development, and she is doing a lot of work in the women entrepreneurship as well. And today she is going to talk about how small businesses can develop their resources and can manage and change into a bigger company. So she's going to talk about all those tips. And the way we have planned the presentation, that within 2 hours, 3 to 5, 1.5 hour, we are going to 30 minutes each of us would speak, and then 30 minutes we'll keep it for the question and answer session. All right. So I'll start with myself. I'm a Dr. Praveen Srivastava. I worked 23 years in corporate and in various industries, from Mitsubishi to the American multinational called VTI Instruments. Last 10 years I spent in aerospace and defense. But 2016, I started my own consulting company, and my coming to consulting is not by accident. It was absolutely planned, because at some point of time, I wanted that I should do something for the business owners in India, because business owners in India, they are very good as far as their business acumen is concerned. So we are not going to teach here how to do the business, but what we are trying to do, that most of the time we have seen that medium size or a small micro business owner, they don't use the latest corporate practices. So this is what probably we are going to talk about that. So to start with this, I think we are going to talk about the challenges what MSMEs they are facing and the solution. So one of the challenges, definitely, most of the forms which I got it, I have received it, that they have challenge related with the finance. It could be lack of access to the working capital, or it could be lack of funding and understanding of basically the finance part and all that. So what I would advise to our fellow business owners, especially the micro one, small one, that they should invest some time in getting acquainted with the latest schemes, because the schemes are there, but it is very important to understand the terms and condition of those schemes, and then align themselves to get qualified for those schemes. And there are also many private and public sector banks are there, those who are offering a low interest loans to MSMEs. So these are the two things, but I'm not going to spend time on this much, because Priyanka is the right person to talk about, and she's going to spend a lot of time on the financial aspect and the funding aspects. The other aspect is that most of our business owners, small business owners, they lack the financial expertise. So I think they should understand. I'm not saying that they should be as good as chartered accountant. If they, obviously, it's good, but if not, then at least they should understand what is revenue, what is profit, what is profit and loss, what is cash flow, how to run the company. So these are the skills are definitely very important for them. And there are a lot of coaches, consultant, trainers are available. They can always teach all those skills. The second challenge is basically the lack of sales. Because most of the micro business owner or small business owner, they do the selling by themselves. So do they understand what is selling? The sales techniques. They have a lot of ineffective marketing strategies and other managerial capabilities. So I think side by side, MSMEs owners, they should take the initiative to improve their basically learning about the selling skills and everything. The other thing also, they should also try to map the competition, because competition mapping and understanding competition is very important. The other aspect, there are a lot of schemes like domestic market promotion scheme, government e-marketplace. Mahila Acquire Yojana. There all those schemes are there. Those actually will help to promote their sale in the domestic market, especially government e-marketplace. And maybe in coming months, we will try to give a little bit feel on the gem as well, and we will bring more expert to explain this particular scheme. The next challenge is basically is the labor-related challenges such as poor productivity. Why? Because inefficient processes and unskilled workforce. That's a problem, typically in our Indian environment. And here again, I would like to advise our business owner that they should make efforts to organize things at their end, because sometimes the salaries are not at par with the industry. They should also arrange the on-job training to boost the productivity and morale of their employees. They should also create an environment of employee engagement. And I also advise that do not consider your employees as an expense. Train them well so that if they are trained, they are equipped with the knowledge and information. They are going to contribute to the efficiency, in your business. So it's very important, and because beyond a point, if you want to grow, you cannot grow without the support of your employees. So employee engagement and the training and development of the employees are extremely important. The other challenges which people talked about is the technology related challenges, constraint on modernization and expansion. I think here, when it comes to technology, surely our MSME sector is quite behind in the race. So I'm not saying that whatever they are selling as a product or services, they should change it. But I think they must be aware about a lot of changes in the marketplace in terms of the technology. The best way is to visit similar industry, the exhibitions and fair and all that, and get more and more information. You can also hire coaches and consultants to help you in that particular area. So technology related challenges definitely we need to overcome. The other challenge is competition related challenge. I think we all know this country has protected the Indian industry for a long time in terms of putting heavy import duties and all that, which definitely created a huge inefficiency in our system. But post 1991, after the liberalization, I think things have started getting changed. But I think, in my opinion, competition is always better, because once you have a competition, it always improves the efficiency, and we will see a better product. So the MSME should open to welcome the change in the business strategies according to the feedback from the consumer. You should be in touch with your customers and all that. The other very important aspect I'm trying to say is the branding. Now, branding, what we understand typically is the advertisement. No, that's probably a 5 to 10% of that part. But today, branding starts with your customer service. What kind of experience you are going to give it to customers? Because product, if you see, are at par basically, but the company which is going to win in the market, which is going to provide an excellent customer service, excellent customer satisfaction, and there probably you should try to create a competitive edge over others. So this is one of the solution, is how you can overcome some of your issues. Uh, sorry. The other challenge is the poor infrastructure. Now, in terms of poor infrastructures, sometimes MSMEs are developing so rapidly, but they are not developing their infrastructure as they were supposed to do, and that is why it has, affected the production capacity. That could be very low, or that will definitely, add to the production cost. So I will advise everybody to get trained on the Z scheme. There is a Ministry of, Commerce under that Quality Councils of India, QCI. They have started this Z scheme, zero effect, zero defect. And I'm happy to announce that in coming months, I am a Z certified trainer. So along with a few more, we are going to give this training of Z, which will definitely impact as far as your cost reduction is concerned in manufacturing, wastages reduction, and everything. Because this is definitely going to help you a lot, because if you have a good infrastructure, your credit worthiness would be increased, and that is going to help when you are going for funding and all that to the banks. The next aspect is basically unavailability of a raw material and other inputs, because of the low bandwidth of the medium size and small manufacturers. We are not having access to the raw material and everything, but here we need to definitely work on strengthening the supply chain. There are a lot of e-portals are there. GEM is the one which I am talking about. But apart from that, there are so many other, e-commerce and other places are there. But you should continue to have development of your vendor and the more and more supply chain so that it can actually reduce the dependence of raw material to only few your suppliers. Uh, the next one is the lack of access to the market. As we all know, that India as well as world economy is bound to grow. And under the leadership of our Prime Minister, we are talking about the 5 trillion economy. This year we are going to close at 3.2 trillion. So that means there is a 40% growth is going to come in next 2 to 3 years. From where this growth will be coming? Definitely within India, but a huge impact is exports. There are 200 countries available in front of you where you can go and sell. And today, export and import business is very simple. Yeah, the procedures are quite simple. And again, here I would like to emphasize that under this cell, we are going to have a training program on how to start your export and import business in coming months when I'll be more discussing with Amitji about how we can start different kind of webinars. The other thing is that please try to focus on quality because you can only get a success in the international market with a good quality product and good the workmanship. Here, some attitude changes are also required because business owner need to move from a quick fix attitude to the sustainability of the product quality goods. Therefore, we will have to give the focus on the quality. And we can always become a world class. If Tata can become a world class company or a Mahindra can become a world class company, obviously we can also become a world class company. So one of the area where I would ask our business owner to put more focus on the quality and other aspects of the manufacturing. The next one, the challenge is the lack of distribution of the marketing channel. Again, here, again, issue is coming about the channel of marketing and how we need to advertise or even sell our product and even the advertisement and all that. And today with the digital platform at a very low price or a low investment, you can reach to anywhere in the world. So I would suggest that please try to spend a lot of time on understanding the digital marketing, and we can use the efficiency and the depth of the digital marketing, which is not expensive at all, which will definitely help you to basically penetrate your marketing channel across India and even across the global arena. The other challenges is the lack of training and skill development. Definitely, training and development is not an expense. And here, MSMEs, I am very serious advice to them that please continue to spend more time on developing and skilling your manpower, because if a skilled manpower will not be there, they will never be able to produce the quality product. So you should spend time on training and development of your employees, definitely. The next challenge is the inefficient management of cash flow. So as I said in the start, that while you should have your, the chartered accountant and everybody, but as a business owner, you should spend some time understanding the cash flow and the balance sheet, and because most of the business owner, when I'm meeting, especially the small business owner, they're so fascinated with the revenue. Now, revenue is fine; you should grow your revenue, but more than revenue, it's very important is the profit. Are you making profit? Even if you are making the profit, what kind of your net profit margins? Because if you are growing, but your net profit margin is going down, then again, it's not a right thing. So please try to understand this is the financial aspect of the business. And one more challenge is the exploit massive opportunity for export. So as I said, that there's a huge opportunity for agro exports from India, garment export, handicraft, food items. Indians are, I have traveled all the continents and 47 countries across the globe during my professional career. Everywhere I have seen, whether it is Argentina or whether it is Fiji, from one place to another, or in Japan, everywhere Indians are, there. And wherever Indians are there, they definitely use the Indian food item. So there are a lot of basically, in the agro and the food, and especially the handicraft and garment industry, the requirement is there. Even today, the marriages are happening across the globe. with an Indian attire and all that. So, and they are importing all those stuff from India. So there's a huge opportunity. Please sit down, please see. We will also help you to identify different products for the different market in near future, and we can exploit the opportunity for exports as well. So this is the about the challenges which I got it through the Google form. I thought that I will try to give some solution. The other thing is I am going to talk about is that some myths are there, because often when you talk to the business owner, they themselves they say that they are very small, whether they are going to grow or not. So I always tell them that look, first generation of Tata or Birla or Ambani's, they were also very small. So if they can grow from a small business, you can also grow, provided you should follow certain guidelines for the growth. The other aspect is that please don't get bogged down because sometimes you say Corona is there or market is bad or competition is very fierce and all that. Now try to see what is your market share within that particular India. It may not be even 1%. So if it is less than 1%, how does it matter? Competition is fair or market is bad. So instead of focusing on that aspect, please focus on how best you can sell and using all those strategies which I'm talking about, and then try to grow. Then again, focus on profit instead of revenue. The other aspect is that I have seen most of the business owners, that 99% business owner, they reach office at 11 o'clock. So by the time you reach office at 11 o'clock, half of that day is gone. So I always advise that reach your office probably 30 minutes before your normal office time. If your office time is 9 o'clock, you should reach at 8:30 and plan your day well in advance, and then start working. So that will improve definitely efficiency of your own personal productivity. The other thing is that try to create a system and processes, because system and process, because what's happening when the company is small, definitely the business owner is a marketing manager, he is a finance manager, he is a purchasing manager. But slowly, when you start expanding, make sure that you have a little organization structure, because you should not be making systems around you. Because if you're going to do that, and if you are not available for a week or 10 days for any reason, what will happen? The company would stop. So instead of a person specific system and process, you should be making the system specific process, which will definitely help you. And then again, you need to have a good organization structure so that people are very clear. In fact, Chetnaji is going to talk about a little bit on this, that each and every functional head should know what is his roles and responsibility and what is expected out of him. So try to create a structure or a responsibility and the key result area where the numbers are there. Typically for the salespeople, numbers is not a problem because they have to live with this only, that how much they are going to sell. But for the operations fellow, also you can decide the number, how much efficiency with the efficiency is going to run the plant, how much wastage reduction he is going to do that. For a purchase guy, you can give the target that year by year or quarter by quarter he will have to reduce prices of the raw material by such and such percentage. For the finance person, you can give that he will reduce the finance cost. So try to create a key result area and try to assess your people's performance with the numbers. That will help you to control your business in a better way. And then, as I said it, that the good organizational structure is very much required. So I'm going to talk about how we can grow and how we can grow business and increase profitability. So there is a secret, but it is not a secret. The first secret is that you need to have roadmap for the growth. So you need to have a very solid business plan. And if you can't make it, again, I'm saying that take the help of the external consultants or coaches, whosoever you know, but you need to have a solid business plan. You need to create systems and processes in your system so that it will help you making your company from a person specific to the system specific. Innovation is very important. There is a study says that if you can't change your product within 3 years, then you are going to off from the market. Now, I'm not saying that you should be only coming every 3 years with a new product. If it is possible, very good. If not, then at least you need to modify your product, but innovation has its place. If it is not there, you cannot be surviving because things are changing in a very different direction. Better time management, your personal productivity and all that is absolutely important, and you should be knowing finance very well. In fact, some of the financial indicators like current ratio or maybe debt ratio or maybe operating profit, all those, these are health indicators of the finance. You need to track these month by month, so that you can manage your company. But if you're not going to track, you will come to know only after a year, by the time the train is getting missed. The other thing is that understanding the business environment, networking is very important. These kind of forum, you should participate more. You should be part of the webinar. And if you want to share your experiences, your successes story, that is also very good, because this will help other business owners to grow. And you need to build the organization, because, as I said, that beyond a point, if you're trying to grow, you can only grow through your people, and you should know how to hire the best people. You should know how to manage the crisis. Uh, all those things are important. And in fact, how to hire the best people, Chetna ji will talk about that. And then you should also understand how manufacturing works. There are a lot of latest techniques like lean management systems are there. Z is I am talking about. There is 5S, and there are different kind of wastages. So there's a lot is there, and if you use all those practices, definitely you are going to be winner in the marketplace. And we as a country, we are going to create it definitely, our own, the place in the global arena. So with this, I am closing my presentation. I hope I have not taken more than 30 minutes. Okay, yes, I have taken 25 minutes to be precise. So I am now handing over to our youngest participant, Priyanka Gupta. So you have 30 minutes, and then you can hand over to Chetna ji for 30 minutes, and after that we'll have question and answer session. Thank you very much. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you, Praveenji. Hello, everybody. I'm CA Priyanka Gupta. I carry an experience of 10 years, and I'm partner in Keystone Associates, chartered accountant firm located in Kolkata. I'm associated with business advisory services to MSME, clients for various sources of funding, which an MSME will find useful. So I will start my screen sharing. Is this slides visible to everybody? Hello?
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Funding. First, I will start with the basic term. What is funding? Funding refers to the money to start and run a business. Whether you are starting a business or you have already have established business, money is required because money is the lifeline of business. Objective as a businessman for raising funds is obviously expansion and growth over a couple of years. Let's quickly check out 10 funding options for small business. That is self-funding or bootstrapping, venture capital, private equity, angel investment, business incubators, factoring, SME exchanges, supply chain finance, government grants, and bank loans. We'll one by one look into all of these. Self-funding or bootstrapping. Self-funding is an effective way for a startup for financing. It is actually good for the first-time entrepreneurs who have trouble getting funding without showing some traction and a plan for potential success. They can invest their own savings or can get their family and friends to contribute. But this option is suitable only if the initial requirement is small. Going ahead to venture capital and private equity. Venture capitalists are professionally managed funds who invest in companies that have huge potential. Venture capitalists and private equity funds provide financial assistance primarily by way of equity or equity-linked capital investment. They also endeavor to provide mentoring support and other value addition to companies. Typically, venture capitalists invest in startups that are pursuing big opportunity, like they're having huge potential. and that have already shown some traction. For example, they are having a working product prototype, early customer adoption, etc. Moving ahead to angel investment. Angel investors are individuals with surplus cash. In simple terms, they are wealthy people and are keen to invest in upcoming startups. Angel investors are typically individuals who invest in startups or early stage companies in exchange for an equity ownership interest. They are often leaders in their own field who not only contribute their experience and network of contacts, but also their technical and management knowledge. Then going forward to crowdfunding. What is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding involves raising funds with the help of a large number of people, especially for an innovative business plan, social cause, etc. In recent times, it has helped many ideas to bloom. If you are confident about your business skills and think that it will do good for the society, then your chances of raising funds through VC funding is high. These investments can be either debt or equity basis. Crowdfunding gives an opportunity of reaching out to a pool of investors instead of seeking one big investment. Moving forward, business incubators. Business incubators or accelerators generally focus on the high-tech sector by providing support for new businesses in various stages of development. Commonly, incubators will invite future businesses and other fledgling companies to share their premises as well as their administrative, logistical, and technical resources. For example, an incubator might share the use of its laboratories so that a new business can develop and test its product more cheaply before beginning production. Okay, now we'll be talking about factoring. What is factoring? Factoring is a form of receivables finance whereby the company sells or assigns its account receivable, that is invoices, to a finance company, a factor, at a discount change for immediate money, which to finance continued business. Large-scale customers, a delayed payment cycle that disrupts the working capital cycle of small firms. Factoring helps MSME get liquidity to manage working capital requirements. However, the challenge lies in obtaining the validation of customers by the factoring agencies. Going forward, type of factoring platform is TREDS, which stands for Trade Receivables Discounting System. Platform for facilitating the financing, discounting of trade receivable of MSME through multiple finances. These receivables can be due from corporate and other buyers, including government departments, public sector undertakings. The TREDS will facilitate the discounting of invoices as well as change. The eligible entities who can participate in the TREDS platform are MSME seller, buyer, which could be corporate, government department, PSUs, or any other entity, and financer, banks, NBFC factors, and other financial institutions permitted by RBI. What are the benefits which we can see of TREDS? There are quite a lot of benefits of TREDS for the seller. Quick payments. MSME seller receive funds against approved invoices within 48 hours. Multiple finances. MSME are not restricted to a single. They have the option to choose the list bids multiple finance. Without recourse borrowing, no obligation on the seller to repay the financer in case the buyer defaults. Lower cost of funds, transparent bidding process to discover the most suitable price. The seller can access financing at competitive terms as it is based on the credit rating of the buyer. Off-balance sheet finance offers a collateral bill discounting service that doesn't impact the balance sheet of the business as it involves the sale of receivables. There is also another way of raising finance, an exclusive called SME exchanges. There are two types of SME exchanges presently, that is and NSE emerge. And what is SME exchanges? An exclusive platform for growing SMEs to approach capital markets as a new and viable alternative for raising capital in an efficient manner. So there are quite conditions for raising capital through SME exchanges. Let's talk about like emerge platform. There have to 50 allottees, 100% underwriting, 25% dilution at least is required. Half yearly audited accounts needs to be submitted instead of quarterly. Corporate governance norms are same as for main board. Migration. Yeah, the one benefit of an SME exchanges is that an SME can migrate from SME to main board, and a main board company can migrate to SME. But there are quite conditions to be fulfilled. Investors, minimum application size is rupees 1 lakh. Minimum trading lot. Nominated investors, P funds and QIB can support underwriting and market making. Now we'll talk about supply chain finance. What is supply chain finance? An online collaborative platform for the banks, sellers, buyers for facilitating transactions and financing across the financial supply chain. Supply chain financing strengthens the relationship of the bank with the corporate world by financing their supply chain partners, both vendors as well as dealers. There are two types of schemes in vogue: electronic vendor financing scheme, that is financing receivables of the vendors from the corporate. The second one is electronic dealer financing scheme, that is financing purchases of dealers from the corporate. There are a couple of benefits of supply chain finance. It provides convenient paperless banking, ensures real-time online transfer of funds, is fully customizable as per business requirements, ensures efficient management of working capital cycle and sustained growth and profitability of business partner, control over cash flow. Apart from all this, there are quite number of government grants and subsidy schemes. Loan for MSME in 59 minutes by SIDBI. Under this initiatives, MSME receive approvals for their loans up to rupees 10 crore within 59 minutes. The loan is disbursed to them in the next 8 to 10 days. This is a good scheme for MSME if they want to avail loan, and they want it to be done on, because in principle approval can be obtained online, and then after that they need to visit the bank branch. So this is one of the good scheme of government where you can get loan processed in a quite. And is Mudra loan scheme from MSME. I'll be elaborating a bit on this scheme. And the third one is credit guarantee fund for micro and small enterprises. MSME can borrow collateral free fund based and non-fund based SME loans up to rupees 2 crores from banks and NBFCs. Again, the next one is Stand Up India. I'll be elaborating on this also. This is also a good scheme. Under this scheme, the loan gets from 10 lakhs to 1 crore to SC/ST or women entrepreneur. Mudra loan scheme. Yeah, what is this? Mudra loans. Pradhan Mantri Mudra is a government of India scheme which enables a small borrower to borrow from banks, microfinancial institutions, NBFCs for loans up to 10 lakh for non-farm income generating activities. Generally, loans up to 10 lakhs issued by banks under micro small enterprises is given without collaterals. Mudra loans can be availed from any of the bank branches. Means all banks are giving Mudra loan. It can be availed from any of the nearest bank branch to your home, to your office. It can be availed from NBFC, microfinancial institutions. Even borrowers can also file online application for Mudra loans on the Udyami Mitra portal. This portal you can log in and then you can also apply for Mudra loan on this portal and you can track it. Mudra loans are disbursed in 3 categories. The first one is Shishu. Here the loan amount is up to 50,000. The next one is Kishore. Here the loan amount is above 50,000 and up to 5 lakhs. Tarun. Here the loan amount is above 5 lakhs and to 10 lakhs. 2-3 things I would like to highlight here. Although Mudra loans are backed by government, no collaterals are asked, but you cannot assume that Mudra loan is your right. It is always dependent on bank's discretion. Bank will do a credit appraisal, will see your credit history, will ask for certain documents, your ITR and other relevant things according to their policies, and you have to satisfy the bank, and then only you can expect Mudra loan from bank. You cannot say that this is a government scheme without collateral, I should get it, this is my right. It is not so. Bank have their discretion. They can deny you if they find otherwise. And especially if you want to go for the highest slab, that is Tarun, then I would suggest you can take the help of like the person, some consultant or your known friends who have already taken these loans and prepare like CMA data and whatever bank will ask, but these things will give a strength to your application and it could be disbursed in a shorter time. Next, I'll talk about one good scheme of government, that is Stand Up India scheme. Most of you must have been aware of this. The objective of this scheme is facilitate composite bank loans, that is including farm loan and working capital between rupees 10 lakhs and rupees 1 crore to at least one SC/ST borrower and one woman borrower per bank branch without collateral for setting up a greenfield. Greenfield means new project. If you are starting out, you are setting up a new project and you are a SC woman borrower, then you can always go for the Stand Up India scheme. This is one of a very good scheme of government. In case of non-individual enterprises, like where both women and men both are partners, in that case, 51% of the shareholding and controlling stake should be held by either women entrepreneur or in case of SC/ST by the SC/ST community. The good news is that the government of India has extended operation of Stand Up India scheme up to the year 2025. This scheme also provides hand-holding support. Suppose you are applying for the scheme, the scheme also offers features. They'll guide you, they'll mentor you, they'll guide you in your business, how you can take things forwards. So this is also a great benefit of this scheme. And the other benefit is the rate of interest. The rate of interest is the lowest applicable rate of the bank category, not to exceed NCLR plus 3%. For availing the scheme which covers all branches of scheduled commercial banks can be in 3 ways. Directly at the branch, you can go to the branch and you can tell that you want to take the Stand Up India scheme, fill the application, or you can log into the Stand Up India portal and the name of the portal is standupmitra.in, or you can also visit the lead district manager. Besides primary security, the loan may be secured by collateral security or guarantee of credit guarantee fund scheme for Stand Up India loans. Means if you are starting a business and you are taking a working capital loan, the primary security, that is the stock and etc., that will be given as primary security. And apart from that, if you are not able to furnish any collateral, then a credit guarantee fund scheme is there, by which government will give the guarantee and bank will not insist on collaterals. The loan is repayable in a quite good tranche of time in 7 years with a maximum moratorium period of 18 months. The scheme calls for 15% margin money and covers 85% of the project cost. Apart from that, there are many other bank loan schemes which an MSME can avail and take benefit of. Two things I would like to highlight here. If you are going for MSME financing or business financing, I request you to go to the branch which deals with MSME. Like the MSME specialized branch is there. Nowadays, every bank has this SME branch. There, if you'll go, they'll understand your requirements better and your chances of getting your proposal passed is quite high. So with this, I would like to end my presentation. If any of you require any further guidance, any help, I am there. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good. I think so. Over to Chetna ji. It was a really great presentation, Priyanka, and I
Thank
think
you,
many of the business owners, those who are struggling with the funding. In fact, a lot of questions are there. So right after, once Chetna ji will finish, we'll take the questions. Correct. Yeah. Yes, Chetna ma'am.
Yes. Thank
All
you,
yours.
Priyanka ji. Thank you. Wonderful session. Let me share my screen. Is everybody able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Right. So we're halfway the session, and I see a lot of questions coming in from the participants. But I think we have kept specific half an hour slot for the Q&A. So we will take everybody's questions. I'm sure all of us are looking for funding options. How do we break through to the banks, and how do we move files? And there's a lot of struggle. And I think the third way is just at the doorstep. And I think there are lots of challenges which all of us as MSMEs are facing, and we are here to address each one of them. And I'm sure we are, Praveen ji and all of us and the committee is planning to have sessions every month so that each of these challenges are addressed, and we would also have an advisory committee where you can reach out to them and seek support. Yeah, so now I'm going to talk about the challenges which every MSME would face as regards to human resource. What are the typical challenges which you would face when you set up a company? The most difficult or the challenging thing is the human resource, the people. So when you have to hire people, what is that you need to know, and what are the kind of struggles you go through, and how do we address them? A few of the challenges which I have noted down here is inefficient and high cost of hiring. It is quite an expensive task if you have to hire agencies to hire each and every single resource for your organization. Lack of support for proper induction and training. Once you've hired them, there's a lot of cost which will involve in training these resources. Lack of policy for appraisal and feedback. Many times people do start the businesses and they're 4 years, 5 years, or 10 years in business, and then they realize they don't even have HR policies in place. People just come, take their salary and go. There is no payroll process. There is no performance management system. There is no feedback mechanism. So they don't even have a proper HR in the organization whom they can reach out to. And of course, last but not the least is your talent retention. How do you retain key talent, key people in your organization? How can MSMEs cope with less manpower? And what are the different platforms available today for setting up HR processes? So there are HR service platforms which are SaaS-based model, software as a service, wherein you can take a monthly subscription to these platforms, and you can use these platforms to create HR processes. So some of them are like ServeHR platform, Zoho, which offers a platform where you can have performance management, payroll process, attendance management, compensation benchmarking, your training, learning and development. You can also set up a recruitment process outsourcing platform to help you do the recruitment for you. One has to always hire top down. Look at hiring the functional heads first and then go top down. See, many times, since we have lack of funds, what we would go is hire a junior resource and then hire his manager, then hire a lead, and then hire his sales head or a marketing head or a finance head. That is a wrong way of recruitment. Once you have funds in place, first get your functional heads in place. Hire your sales head, your marketing head, your finance head. You can either start with freelancers, or once you have funding in place, you can start with permanent employees. But hire the seniors first and then let them build their teams. The reason is the heads can get in their own people or build up their own teams so that they're comfortable with the team which they want to work with. Right? And that will help you increase your profitability. It's not the reverse. There has to be salary rationalization. Now, how do you pay salaries how do startups pay salaries? See, unlike the large corporates who would give a very high fixed salaries, in startups, we have seen this combination which really works. Pay them a fixed and a variable model. And fixed can go as low as 50%, and the variable can be about 50%. And there are people in the market who are willing to join startups because there is a huge learning platform for them. They're directly able to work with the founders, the directors themselves, which in an organized big setup, they are like 5 or 10 layers away. Many startups pay 60-40 or a 50-50 ratio of fixed and variable when it comes to salary. Plus, you can provide them ESOPs. These are employee stock options. So once the company grows, scales up, and goes in for an IPO, these employees should get the benefit. So because they are the early joiners and because they have the ESOPs, they have a share of the company. Once the company goes public, they will make money along with you. Give them joining bonus to attract talent. Many startups today face the challenge of getting qualified or people coming in from good business schools. So how do you attract them? Now, definitely salary is not the only thing. So you also, people are expecting some kind of a joining bonus to start with. Who are the type of people you need to hire? Look for people who have the risk-taking ability. How do you assess these people? How open are they to take risks? Ask them the questions in the interview. Are you a risk taker? Do you have the risk-taking appetite? Or you're the person who would want a process in place, a team in place. They have to have A, B, C, D, A to Z of job descriptions written. All your KPIs are in place. Everything is placed. If those are the kind of people, then they are not the people to be hired. You need to hire people who are ready to create from the scratch. Can they thrive in a difficult market or a difficult environment? Corona was never planned. It just happened. But look at the people who still stuck with you and are working along with you to grow the company. The people who have left the boat and gone, they were never the right hires for your company. Can they perform with less processes, no processes at all? These are the questions to be asked in the interview. Can they set up the processes for you? Are they confident on working on IC roles? Individual contributors are the one which we need to hire because they come with self-motivation. We cannot micromanage these resources, but they need to have their own self-targets in mind and then they perform. Ask people for their growth stories and success stories in the interviews. So you know these are the right people whom you need to hire. Of course, once you have money, you will have people. Or whether you should have people to grow the money, that's a chicken and egg story, but that is for you to answer. Scale up once you're funded and when you start making profits. How to save your recruitment cost? Now, a lot of large companies also do this, but I would suggest that the startups and MSME should always do this. Use employee referral schemes. See, we go immediately, we identify a recruitment vendor and we say, okay, fine, I'll give you 1 month salary, help me hire a right resource. But do we use our own teams, our own resources for asking for references? So because if the current existing team is happy, they wouldn't mind calling their friends to come and join their companies, join your company. So use this employee referral scheme. It is not going to save your cost, but you can, instead of paying 1 month salary, let's say a employee's 1 month salary for sake of discussion is 25,000 rupees. So instead of paying that 25,000 rupees to a recruitment company, you tell them, you help me get your friend on board, I will pay you 10,000 rupees. So straight away, you're reducing 50 to 60% of your cost there. You can use online platform. Today, we are at the going the digital way. Use online platforms to advertise your jobs and ask for references. I have known so many companies who use WhatsApp today for hiring, or use Twitter or Facebook or Instagram for that matter. So go digital. This is the way for startups, I think, to go your recruitment bit. Why should an employer spend or initiate employer branding? Now, what is employer branding? Why should they really go for employer branding? Startups need to promote the founders. Why should, if I'm a fresher and if I have to join a startup, why should I come and join you and not go and join the existing big companies? So then you have to market yourself. You have to start promoting the founders and the promoters. Talk about the past success stories in business. There could be some really serial entrepreneurs who they have started a company, scaled it up, sold, gone for IPO, sold it, make big monies, and now that money they have taken and they're invested in another company and creating another success story. So when a founder has a success story to talk about, this becomes a pull factor for people to be attracted, and then they would come and join you. It is not for the concept or the product, but people come and join people. Talk about the past success stories, create YouTube videos about your product, about the USP of your product, about the promoters, and that is how you're able to attract talent. Yes. So these are the pointers which I wanted to highlight when it comes to human resources. I have tried to keep it short and simple so that I can have more questions and answers addressed. And I'll stop here.
All right. So you are done, Chetna ji?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. So I would request all the participants if they can open their camera, so then it will be easy for us to interact. So we are open for a question and answer session. So we would request that if you can open your camera, please. So Raghuji, are you there? Yeah, Raghuji, if you can unmute
good evening,
your
sir.
camera. Good evening.
Good evening,
if you
sir.
can, yeah, if you can open your camera so we can see you.
Actually, I'm not traveling, sir.
Okay.
If
Got it.
everyone can switch on their cameras, we can also take a screenshot and put it on our social media. Even if you're traveling, not a problem.
Okay. But actually, my can I ask a question, sir? Question or doubt?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Actually, I approached in several times in the banks for the loan for the doing the business. Actually, not manufacturing or not service, like trading, sir. Actually, but most of the banks or most of the people, they will deny to provide the loans actually. And now recently I approached one of the private bank. They're saying that you have to complete 3 years of business and you have to file the IT returns. They're saying like that actually. But I started 1 year back only.
Okay, so while Priyanka ji is specialist for that and she's going to answer, I'll just say simple one thing. See,
Okay, sir.
what happens, even if we ask somebody from our father or, our elderly person in our home, what the first question they ask, why? The same happened with the government, that there are schemes are there, but that does
Okay.
not mean that anybody will go there and get it. There is a certain procedure. So there are certain rules and regulations, which I think Priyanka ji will talk about. If you are, compliance on that, definitely you will get it. Okay, Priyanka ji, your inputs.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, sir.
I would like to say, maybe your experience is not good with one bank. In case of loan, if one bank denies, that doesn't mean you cannot go to other bank. And you can go to other bank and just ask briefly that what are the things in which I'm lacking, like what documents and what requirements we specifically require, which will make me like eligible for this loan. What are the things which are lacking? You first get to know the reasons, because many of the times we get upset and we don't ask the actual reason why our loans are not being sanctioned. What are the shortcomings? So we should ask politely with them, like, what are the things which are lacking on my part, what documents you require, and we should note it down. And next time we approach with all these documents, supposingly, if you're not having your credit history, you're not having your good CIBIL score, there are fair chances that bank will deny, because they are having their own policies, credit monitoring policies, and they are bound by that. They cannot grant you loan on their wish. They need certain documents. Suppose they can ask for last year's ITRs, they can ask for like what are your sales turnover. For vetting that, they could ask if you are having a GST registration or not, because they need to cross check things. They cannot rely on your words. They need to vouch everything what you are saying, whether it is genuine or not. And then when they are satisfied, then only they can give you loan. So the best, my recommendation is that you should ask for the lacking, because many times we do not ask what is like we are not like able to provide. And all to other bank also, not stick with, there are number of banks who can help you with your finance. Thank you.
Okay, so Raghuji, key is here. Number one is to understand the requirements and then be compliant to that. If we are going to follow each and every guideline and try for many other options, as Priyanka ji said, not one bank, few banks, then I'm sure things should be much easier. Yes. Next question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask one question to Priyanka ji. Priyanka, what is your experience with CGT MSME schemes? Because I often hear that generally any banks or any financial institution, they're not ready to give CGT MSME because they say that they don't get a good coverage from the government.
As per the Government of India mandate, every PSU, every bank has to offer a CGTMS scheme. They cannot blindly on your face deny that. That is quite impossible. If they are showing, I am so much of like shocked. How could they say so? Because this is a very like government has given this guarantee. If you are not having collateral, this is the basic model of the scheme is, if you're not having collateral, then you can always go for government guarantee. And for that, you have to pay CGTMS charges. It could be 3% or something like that. And then bank can give you loan based on that. So there is no point that why bank are saying so. There could be other reasons also, and I will again repeat the things. We should ask for the proper reasons why they are not entertaining you. What are the documentary pitfalls? And if rather like you are think that it is not like things are going out from your hand, you can always take the help of a consultant who will smoothen out the process and help you get the funding smoothly.
What has been your experience in CGTMS? Have you been able to get
In
loans?
my experience, I'll be biased in speaking on this platform, since I'm having good like networking with managers. So I don't find whenever my clients are coming, things go smoothly and they get the finance. But it could not be the case with everyone. They could face hurdles, because when clients comes to us, we like guide them how should be your finances, what are the strong areas, what should be your profit, what should be your stock, where specifically we go, so that bank cannot deny you that these are the lackings, these ratios are not commensurating. We like pinpoint on things, And then we prepare them. We also give them a grooming, how to go to bank, how to talk. So all these things are involved. So then the finance has been done.
We have
So
to find a good CA like you, probably.
no, not saying that. The your friends who have like having experience, you can also take their help or anyone like that. But you should
Thank
go
you.
prepared to bank. Okay,
you.
thank you.
Priyanka ji, I just wanted to know whether, being a proprietor, I'm a very small company at the moment, and I'm not trying to scale up basically because of COVID, because our industry is very seriously affected. But it doesn't make a difference to be a LLP or a private limited, or is it okay to be a proprietary company?
I will say it totally depends on your risk appetite and your how much amount you can shell out. Because once you are growing, from proprietorship is the most basic form of organization for doing any business. If you go to one step ahead to partnership firm, there are certain like regulation and compliances which you need to do. And then when you go for company, then ROC, MCA things are more transparent in that. So obviously the credential of a company is much more than a proprietorship. The bank feels safe because the bank can cross check your data easily with MCA side. They can check your financials. They can, and when you are a company, you're having 40 lakhs turnover, then you also go for GST registration. So it is very easy for bank to cross check your data, and they are like in a more comfortable position to give you loan. In case of, I'm not saying proprietorship cannot go, proprietorship can also go, but you have to have something to prove that you're having so much of revenue, so much of sales, so and with which they can cross check it. You need to have your trade license, basic registrations which are required. You need to be filing income tax registration. Your financial discipline should be there. If it is there, you can always go and take loan. Thank you.
Maybe I can add to here, Mr. Stephen. If you want to export, most of the foreign clients, they prefer to have a deal with a company rather than a proprietorship company.
Okay, they don't want to.
They want to deal with a company only.
Okay.
Because you are more transparent there.
Right. Thank you, sir.
So any more questions?
So right now, one more question, sir. I have one more question. Right now, I have a small OD loan from the Bank of Baroda on Mudra, and they are willing to scale up my loan to a higher level. It's not yet 10 lakhs. But this other schemes, can it be availed in parallel with Mudra, or do we have to stick to Mudra? I'm not saying now. I'm saying now, let's say in a situation when things easen up, this COVID pandemic gets over at some point. At that time, I would like to scale up. And when I scale up, I'm using my Mudra only as working capital loan, only working capital. If I get a project, it takes 30 days for the payment to come in, 45 days for the payment to come in. So I pay off my vendors upfront with the Mudra loan, and I don't take too many projects on my plate. I take 1 or 2 projects at a time, so I don't have to get into a credit kind of a situation wherein I have lack of working capital funds. But is it that I have to restrict myself to Mudra, or can I also go for CGTMS or any other similar finance opportunities? Priyanka ji, I'm asking.
Yeah, sure. Actually, you can go for any type of loan. The main thing which banker will check is your repayment capacity. Like from where you are going to like liquidate the loan, from where, in a simple term, from where you are going to pay off the loan. You may have good ambitions, like better notion, but if your books are not supporting, like your financial statements, by taking a look at that, they are not able to like make a picture that you can like serve the loan, then they'll not go for that. There are other covenants also, but you can also always go for like above Mudra financing. There is also a GCL scheme. GCL scheme has been extended up to March 2022. You can ask your banker for the GCL benefit, whether you are entitled, whether you can take the benefit of GCL. You can approach the bank and you can ask them. And you can always go for a working capital loan also. of higher amount if you require.
Which loan? Kappa.
Working capital loan, apart from Mudra, like a higher one, like you can go for, what is your requirement, like 50 lakh, more than that, because the Mudra is up to 10 only.
Yes, yes.
If you require a higher amount, like 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs, then you can go for other like working capital loan, which are available in bank. And you can also ask for GECL, because the benefit GECL version 4 is there. It is available up to March 2022. You can ask for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question to Chetna ji. In this era of software, all the youngsters want to go to the software industry. How do we actually get the best of the talent? And then the bigger challenge is how to retain some of those talents. They're the biggest challenge for any MSME, I would say. What is your experience?
So which industry, what are you into, manufacturing or the service industry?
Service.
Service. See, many times I have seen that lot of companies want to hire people coming in from technology backgrounds or who have done their MBAs. I would suggest that if you should go to the grassroots level and hire people who are not able to get jobs, let's say, don't target the premier schools or the good business schools or the technology. Let's say if you're looking at BEIT, even if you can, let's say, hire a BCA or a MCA, but he has a understanding of the skill set, then you should hire them rather than running behind people where even the established companies or the well-funded companies are wanting to hire. So obviously that talent is trying to go there, but there are lots of other people who are unemployed or who are willing to work out, sweat it out, but need the jobs. We need to target those set of people.
Yeah, so to add what Chetna ji has said, Vineet ji, I think the other aspect is very important, that, why people want to stay in that particular company, especially youngsters. If they say that there is a career growth for them or some kind of learning is there. So that is why I am mentioning that, even a small or medium-sized manufacturer, they should definitely try to give a roadmap of the career planning to these people. And also they should try to spend something on their skill development. If that is going to be there, people will, choose more the better career plan than the salary. So this is how the bigger companies, they do that. And the same thing need to be followed with the smaller and medium-sized companies as well.
Okay, thank you. There's a
Well,
question.
I have one more point to this, Vineet ji.
Yeah.
Also, if you have hired a raw talent, all of us need to spend some time, energy, effort, and money in training these people. So if you're giving them a value addition, they will recognize it and they'll stay with you. So that will help you retain people. Many of us do not realize this and want to hire the ready-made talent and then work with them, and these people easily move out. But if you are able to hire a talent, train him while he's working with you, grow him along with you, they will have that attitude of gratitude and that they will stay. So that some bit of a loyalty will be there and they will want to continue.
One of the biggest problem I see with small entrepreneurs is whenever they want to employ somebody, so they want to see themselves in that employee. They want to see a mirror.
Absolutely.
And that is where the challenge starts.
They want a mirror image of themselves.
Yes. So how do you overcome those kind of challenges?
See, many times I'm in the recruitment industry for last 20 years. Many times startups and small entrepreneurs do come to me with this and saying that I want a clone for myself. I want a BD head, but I want a clone for myself. Whatever I do, even that person should do. You will have to create 10 of those people to do your work.
Which is impossible.
So you are doing end to end. आप sales भी करते हो, marketing भी करते हो, HR भी करते हो, finance भी करते हो, peon का काम करते हो, MD का काम करते हो. So you have to make 10 of those clones and give them one job and get the work done. So there's a lot of explanation. I have to sit with them and make them understand that you will get people for a particular skill set, for a particular function, hire them for that, and do not load the entire thing on that one person. If you want a salesperson, hire a salesperson, groom him, and hire a separate person for finance, separate for HR, separate for operations. And I'm sure we all cannot afford that being small and medium entrepreneur, but then groom people to that level over a period of time so that he is able to multitask. So there's a lot of explanation, talking, understanding which we have to give to these kind of self-made people, and then that is when they understand, and then we are able to give them somebody with 2 to 3 years or 2 to 5 years experience who can multitask. Suppose he wants a sales, then he can do sales and marketing. HR के लिए थे तो HR and operations and admin and facility, ऐसे छोटा छोटा करके फिर उन लोगों का टीम बना के देते हैं.
One of the scare which most of the small entrepreneurs have is कि अरे ये बंदा सीख जाएगा, मेरे से ज्यादा स्मार्ट हो जाएगा और फिर ये या तो मेरा बिजनेस कर लेगा या कहीं और ज्वाइन कर, कॉम्पिटिटर को ज्वाइन कर लेगा. How do you overcome such kind of challenges?
I would like to add it here because I have gone through this issue. One is that when I was dealing with these medium-sized manufacturers, one issue was there that they say, oh, employees are coming and after we find 6-7 months, they are not, in terms of poor in performance. So I am telling them to leave. So I simply asked, I said, which one you had? He said, I hired the sales manager. I said, show me the job description. JD, he said, I don't have any JD. He said, what is JD? So then I'm telling you that, look, if you do not have a JD, first of all, you should be very clear what kind of person you want, what he is going to do, what kind of behavioral traits, what kind of educational qualification. Then accordingly map and, and also there is a technique how to hire the good people, So rather than interviewing technique and everything, so that also they need to be trained. So all those things attribute, and then you can, definitely. The other thing is that about that competition, in fact, I mentioned in my slide also. See, we should not worry about the competition. In fact, we should welcome the competition, because if the competition would be there, everybody will get improved. Everybody would be improving, and then, we will be seeing a better market, better product, better technology, better environment. So this thing need to be inculcated in the mind, and if they are progressive, they will go sure.
Vineet ji, I would like to add here कि कोई भी client आपको business क्यों देता है? Because he is giving it to Vineet. He knows you, he knows your skills, he know what you bring to the table, and he gives it to you. So अगर किसी business owner को लगता है कि अगर मैं sales बंदे को hire करके train करके वो मेरा business लेके जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. वो एट द मोस्ट वो इंट्रोडक्शन दे सकता है, वो फोन नंबर्स पास कर सकता है, डेटा पास कर सकता है, लेकिन वो आपके प्लेट से आपका बिजनेस नहीं लेके जा सकते. वो सिर्फ एक डर है, वहम है, लेकिन ऐसा होता नहीं है. बिकॉज पीपल वर्क विथ यू बिकॉज यू कैन गिव देम दैट सर्विस, एंड आप तो कहीं नहीं जा रहे, आप तो वहीं पे हैं, तो आपका बिजनेस आपका जाएगा नहीं. थोड़ा सा पाई, केक का थोड़ा पाई चला जाएगा, but that is still fine. There's enough and more in the market for all of us to eat.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, there is a very interesting question from Mohammed Abdullah. Praveen sir, he's asking whom to approach or look for to get your business in process once you have the funds.
So I read it and I responded him that he should talk to me. Then whatever we can help, we'll surely help him.
Yeah, Mohammed Abdullah, you can connect with Dr. Praveen. And one more input has come from Murthy, Chetak Murthy. So he's talking about data security. So Mr. Murthy, you can connect with me, so we can have another this webinar on data security, because this is a very big challenge for, particularly for SMEs, MSMEs, because large companies have their system operators and system administrators, and they have their own systems. But for smaller companies, they don't have all these kind of wherewithals so that they can hire a full-time person for taking care of security issues. So if you have some solutions, we will be very ready to welcome you to have a webinar where you can tell all our members about how to deal with data security issues.
Yeah, so anybody is having any issue in terms of the HR policy and all that, they can connect with Chetna ji, and anybody is facing issue in terms of the funding, then Priyanka ji is the right person.
How do we connect with Chetna? Or I have got
all of us are on the MSME group.
Yeah.
Praveen ji, आपका email ID और phone number दे दीजिए यहाँ chat में, so people can.
Sure, I think all of us. Let's give all of us, not only me, Chetna ji and Priyanka ji. You can also write.
Meanwhile, we have our Amit ji also here. Amit ji, 2 words from you. Amit Parekh ji. He's our president, no?
I would like to thank Amit Parekh ji to give us this platform to present and reach out to all the MSME members over here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So if no question, then probably we should close the meeting. Vineet ji, what do you think?
Yeah, I was just waiting. If Amit ji is available, we can request him to say
Okay.
two words.
Sure.
Maybe he's not able to hear us or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
Okay, sir, we can close. Dr. Praveen, you can say a vote of thanks.
Sure. So I think first of all, thank you to all the participants. You being here, and please keep on, sending in the WhatsApp group of manufacturing cell any issues you have, because it will be very easy for us to frame the webinar around that. And please feel free to contact us anytime in the group. We will be able to help you in any way we can. And thank you, Priyanka. Thank you, Chetna ji. Thank you, Vineet ji. And thank you all the participants, and wish you a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen, Priyanka ji, and Chetna ji.